I want to take a few minutes today to talk to you about my Shopsmith Bandsaw. I bought it in 1992. For the most part, it's worked very well for me. It's not the heavy-dutiest bandsaw you've ever seen, but you can do tolerable good work on it. I've made lots of things with it. But one of the things that I had a problem with right after I got it was that about a year later, they came out and they made a modification to the blade tensioning system. And I decided that instead of going ahead and buying the upgrade, I'd just do it myself. So I'll walk you over and show you what it is that I did to make that modification. To tension the blade on the bandsaw, you use your wrench, you insert it into a screw on the side of the machine here, and you turn it. As you tighten it, it has a red indicator right over in here that shows you how tight you have it. It's set up for 1/8 inch, 1/4 inch, 3/8, and 1/2 inch. As this disappears along here, you've achieved tension. If I had an 1/8 inch blade on there, it would now be taut, okay? However, I have a 5/8 blade on here, and it tensions at about the same amount that a 1/2 inch blade does. So I need to continue to tighten it until it indicates for a 1/2 inch. Okay? Now that works well. It's pretty foolproof. The blade is now tensioned and will cut straight. And it's repeatable. From one time you use the blade to the next time you use the blade, it'll track the same and cut the same because it's a pretty reliable tensioner. Now, the problem is, for me, is that the structure of the bandsaw is die-cast aluminum, okay? The housing is die-cast aluminum. The tensioning mechanism is die-cast aluminum. This is steel, and this spring indicator here is steel also. However, this tension arm, which doubles as an indicator with the red stripe down here, that it will hold pressure against this casting, and on this arm, not to mention the wheels, the drive wheel at the bottom and the guide wheel at the top, it'll hold tension on them. Now, I've always been taught that you release the tension from the bandsaw whenever it's not in use so that you don't spring it, so that you don't cause it to wear out early. So that means that every time you use it, you back it off when you're finished until there's no tension on the blade, okay? Till the blade is loose, okay? And that's pretty simple, except for one problem. That mechanism and that screw are underneath a cover, okay? That cover is held on with 3 screws. I'm sorry, 3 screw nuts on the outside. Okay? That means that every time you get done with it, you have to take the cover off. Every time you want to use it, you have to put the cover on. About a year or two after I bought the bandsaw, Shopsmith made a modification to make that a whole lot easier. They drilled a hole in the outside of the cover so that you could insert your wrench through the cover. Then they put a sight glass over the indicator. I decided that that was something I could do myself. So I did. And I'll show you what I did. First off, I drilled a hole in the outside of the cover where I could access the screw. The second thing I did was cut a hole, I think it's 1.25 inches by 2.5, okay? And on the inside, I cut me a piece of 2-inch by 6-inch Lexan and epoxied it over the hole, okay? Pretty? I don't know. Functional? Well, let's tension that blade again and you be the judge. There's the wrench. And there's the sight glass. Blade's tensioned. Okay. I timed it a while ago, and it takes me about 3 minutes to put this on and about a minute to take it off. Okay, so if I'm on my game, it takes me about 4 minutes every time I use it just to take it off and put it on, not to mention the time I'm spending while I'm tensioning it. Okay, so let's say I'm adding 5 minutes to every time I use the saw, and I've used it 1,000 times at least since 1992. Probably about 1994, and I'm not going to do the math, but if every time I use it I'm losing 4 or 5 minutes just in adjusting, taking off and putting this on, okay, I've saved myself a ton of time. How long did it take me? Oh, I don't know, maybe an hour. I think it's been well worth my time. Another thing I want to point out is that for me it's important that tension is relieved whenever I'm done using it. For me, it's important that I tension it before I use it, for obvious reasons. The inconvenience of having to take it off and put it on led me several times to walk away without releasing the tension, and to turn it on without the tension. Having that sight glass in there, I can walk up and check, hey, did I release the tension? And to also check, hey, is the tension correct? So it's not just the convenience, it's a matter of being better able to make sure that my two objectives are met without having to take the cover off to see. Not a big deal, just something I thought I'd share with you. I really appreciate you stopping by. If you don't mind, would you go ahead and poke that like button? Thank you.